Hi, everyone. Becky Reed here with Joy's team, and we're here excited to welcome another preschool owner. And today on our call, we have Brenda. I forgot to ask your last name. How to pronounce your last name?
Limaldi. Yes.
Limaldi. Awesome. Brenda Limaldi. Her online preschool is called Sunny Bee Online Academy, and she has 10 students enrolled in 2 different classes. She does an enrichment class and has 6 kids in an enrichment class, and then 4 in a music class. And these are all music classes, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So the enrichment is like an add-on to other things that they're doing.
Yes.
And then your preschool class with the 4 is like a preschool music class. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. I love the idea, and I love your name for your school and all that you're doing with it. And so we're just really excited to get to know you better, and we just welcome Brenda to the call today.
Thank you.
So first, let's start out by telling us how you got the idea to start an online preschool.
I was actually my journey has been like this, up and down, like a roller coaster. I have had my own business teaching just solely music classes in person. They were parent-child classes. And then unfortunately with the pandemic, I had to pivot really quickly. I did have my own studio in person and I had to close down. So it was either go online or kind of just fade into the night. So I did decide to go for it, and I went online, and I was able to transition fairly easily.
Awesome. And so how did you learn how to do online if you'd always been doing it in person? How did you figure that out?
I have, being a music teacher also for a public school system, I had to go online there as well. So it was kind of a joint for both sides, both of my world. Had to go online really quickly.
Awesome. So kind of something you've been already shown how to do with your job. And so that wasn't so hard to do. How did you find out about preschool, the Joy and what she was doing with online schools?
Well, she has this strange way of having perfect timing because it was getting really hard in the fall. There was, everybody was online, so I wasn't sure, the right way to market or to have my messaging and everything. And I was really about to ready to give up. I mean, I work full time. This is more of something I do for myself because I love it so much. I love the little guys. So it was, I would have been okay. But there was just still that calling, but try again. And then Joy came into my feed. And then I started the 7-day challenge with her. I was fairly successful. And she gave me some tips, and I was able to keep going.
Awesome. So you saw her on a Facebook ad. Is that what you were saying? You saw her when you were on social media.
Yeah.
And so then you joined the 7-day challenge. And then what did you do from there?
From there, I've been blessed. I won her very big raffle with the Preschool in the Box,
Awesome.
the all-star membership. I had a private coaching session with her. I mean, it's been amazing. I was interviewed for her YouTube channel also. So she was able to gear me in the right direction. I was, having trouble with things like pricing and what to offer exactly. I was trying to reinvent myself as a preschool teacher, but being a special area being music, she said, go with what you're comfortable with. And that's what I've been able to focus on, and it's been really successful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. What about like Preschool in the Box or All Stars did you just love about it, or what helped you the most out of all of it?
I love the camaraderie with the All Stars. You're able to go on there, and everybody's at a different point in their journey. I find myself in the middle. I'm not branding new. I do have some experience, but I'm, obviously not years in the industry either. So I'm like right in the middle, and I like to pay it forward. I like to help those who need help. And then I'm able to ask as well. And then the Preschool in the Box just has everything in there, marketing templates, forms, everything that you need is in there.
Awesome. So what was life like before you started doing this? You've kind of given us a little bit about it. You're working full time. What else was going on before you started doing this?
So because of the pandemic, I decided my kids are older. It was a good time to go back to school also. So I'm doing that in addition to working time running my business and going for my master's degree also.
Awesome. Um, so why did you decide to add on online preschool? I mean, you're already going to
Because
school, you're already working. Why do
yeah,
that?
I just really love the little guys. It's been something I've wanted to do and I continue. And I'm further in my career. I've been teaching almost 25 years. I'm starting to see that flicker of light, retirement. And I would really
Mhm.
like to have a business, with a good, strong foundation and have it thrive in my retirement years. So that's
Okay,
why
okay. So you
people,
kind of saw this as a time to start transitioning to what your job is after working
yeah, for
the
my
public
next chapter.
education, right? Your next job that you're gonna create for yourself, right? So you can
Yeah,
still be grandma and travel and do all
exactly. Yeah,
those
yeah,
that next phase.
yeah.
Awesome. So that was a reason to add one more thing, huh?
Yep.
And a good time
Yeah,
too
it's,
when
my kids are older. I'm not,
yeah,
so it
yeah.
was a good time.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so when you're like going through all these different things and struggles that you might have, do you have like I mean, well, first of all, do you ever struggle with confidence, with doubts and fears, or anything like that, or?
Yeah, social media is a tricky thing because you see all the wonderful things that everybody else is doing, but you have to remember that they've been at it longer than you maybe, or maybe they have different strengths. Everybody has their own unique personality and things that they're good at. So I try to keep that in mind and just focus on my own goals.
Awesome, I love that. It is definitely an easy trap to
Yeah.
fall into is that comparison.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, so you've overcome that, just kind of trying to keep yourself focused on what's my strengths and
Yeah.
not necessarily comparing.
Right. Right.
A good strategy. Is there any kind of statement or mantra that you have to help you kind of get through those tough times of
I
doubts, fears?
always like to think, when you're like really in facing a hard situation, that this too shall pass. It's
Mm.
okay. It's all part of the journey. And even if you think you're failing, it's really not. It's really a life lesson that you're learning something from.
Awesome. I love that. This too shall pass. And there's a lesson in every experience, and finding that lesson helps you not have to do that again, right?
Live and learn. Yep.
That's what I'm always trying to like. I don't want to live this again. I'm going to learn
Exactly.
this lesson
Note
now.
to self, let's write this down, what not to do. Yeah.
Not to do
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, so having done taught in person for all of your career, what were some of the struggles as you switched to online, specifically like with technology? Did you
Right.
struggle with anything that had to do with
I
the tech
did.
side?
There were some things that I had to figure out. Things like sharing my screen and having the settings so that they can hear you, and being able to transition smoothly, not to have a lot of white space because little guys,
Mm.
you'll lose them if you don't have them engaged. So always having those activities, especially online, trying to figure out how to still maintain that engagement that you would in person.
Awesome. So how did you figure out how to do the screen sharing and all of those kinds of different things that you
Did
were?
a lot of Googling. Google is my best friend. Google and YouTube, yes.
Awesome. So just kind of Googling how to do those things. Did Joy's stuff that she showed you at all kind of help you with some of that initial setting up of how
Yeah,
to
yeah, how to set up
do?
the classroom. I have what's it called, the ring light, and
Right.
the best way to set your background and all of that.
Right, right. So those are kinds of other things that you kind of learn from what everyone in your 7-day challenge. A lot of that is setting up those kinds of
Yeah.
things, right?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
then, yeah, like you said, there's all kinds of people that show you
Yes.
how they do it and watching
Yes.
what they
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, how about marketing? How did you get your students? Did you have any struggles with marketing or advertising?
It honestly wasn't too difficult because I had a base from my parent-child classes.
Right,
And it
right.
actually came at a good time because they were aging out of the parent-child and looking for preschool activities. So that
Mhm.
did actually help.
Okay, so kind of pulled from your existing students. Did you get more students outside
I
of
did.
that, or?
Yeah, yeah, I did get some. A lot of word of mouth. I'm very active on social media. I'm on there every day. So I make
Okay,
sure that I'm consistent with that as well, with my posts and everything.
Okay. And then did you use anyone, is there any specific marketing technique that maybe you learned about that you use that you like the
Just
most?
got the 365 Facebook posts from Joy. So that was
Awesome.
another thing. Yeah. Yeah. Because that was another thing that was taking up a lot of my time. And that's another thing. It's like a mild struggle, I guess, is knowing, at first you have to take on all of the responsibilities. And at one point, do you start, kind of delegating and really, crowdsourcing and,
Hmm.
batching and all of that things, really, time blocking and getting everything done and out.
Awesome. You've thrown out some really great terms there that are
Yeah.
good time management stuff, but automating things and
Yeah.
really getting a system and a flow and time to do that, because you are still a student and a teacher and now online as well. So trying to keep all those things together. So your favorite marketing tool is doing like Facebook posts and things
Yeah.
like that, and just being present on social media.
Yeah. And make sure
Awesome.
that you comment back when people comment on your post, make sure that you answer.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Having good engagement with people. That's awesome. I know when she said she was doing that, I'm like, that is
Done.
brilliant. And I saw it as she was making it. She says, it's almost done. I'm like, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
That is just like the awesome. It's just these things she comes up with. It's
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. So tell me, okay, so we've already kind of talked a little bit, but let's review a little bit of your teaching background. So go ahead for our viewers. You kind of told
Okay.
me, but what's your teaching background?
So I have a bachelor's degree in music education. I've been teaching in the public school system for 25 years, close to 25, grades K to 5. I taught pre-K to 5 for a couple of years. And then now I'm pursuing my master's in early childhood education.
Awesome. Awesome. And so you've had lots of good teaching experience, and and as a music teacher, right? So in the niche that you decided to do your online school is where your expertise are.
Yeah.
And so that probably helps. Do you think that was a good choice, or do you wish you went more general preschool?
I started out general preschool and, I was trying to reinvent myself and everything. And, after speaking with Joy, she's like, you have your strength right there, your music background. And it's, that's not something that everybody can offer. It's my way of standing out a little bit. So I'm able to get music and move into these little guys.
Yeah, I think that was a very smart move for you to stay in that. People know that you have a lot. It's easier, probably a lot less stress trying
Yes,
to
yeah, trying
do
to come
something
up.
you don't know. This is something you've taught and done forever. And
Right.
then also, as we see the world transition, I think those enrichment classes are the things that are going to hang on.
Right.
As there's more options out there, those kinds of things are really going to continue to grow and have opportunities. So that's awesome. Okay. So those first clue classes, was it different for you to teach in person versus online? What was some of the struggles maybe with online?
Yeah, at first, just trying to maintain engagement with the kids. I do send them, I call them Sunny Bee bundles every month. So it comes with little like trinkets, instruments, activities so they can have the hands-on still, even though they're online. And that seems to help. Parents seem to like that.
Yeah, no, that is definitely a nice touch that I'm sure they appreciate. And yeah, you're right. Like, you're playing with instruments, you got to have the tactile stuff, but not everybody has access to different things. And you don't want to add another thing to parents to try to figure out. So
trying to find it, Yep.
Yeah, and I'm sure they love getting that little.
They do. They look forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so how about business wise? So you've been working for an employer all these years, and have you had your own business, or was it a struggle to start your own business? What were some of those?
Struggling with making sure, honestly, that you charge enough to make sure that you're covering your costs and that you're actually making a profit. It is a business.
Right.
I think that, the teachers have that tendency to want to nurture so much and just be extra kind and, oh, I'll just give them this and this, you want to go crazy. But at the end of the day, you have to remember that you still have bills to pay. So make sure that all of that is covered.
Yes, absolutely. I love what you touched on, that, that it is just your giving, nurturing nature as an educator is to do and do and do, right? But it does burn you out after a while. And yeah, undervaluing yourself is a pretty very common mistake that I think a lot of us make in person or online. That's just a general thing to try to kind of figure out how to value what you have, but
And
not
especially also being online, people think, well, it's online, I shouldn't charge that much. It's just online, but it's still your work. You're still preparing, you're still planning.
Yeah, it may not be as much time as you could have in person,
Right.
but
Right.
it's still a lot of the same. So yeah, that is a struggle. So how did you figure it out? How did you kind of get to?
It took a while. Honestly, at first, I was giving a lot in, in that bundle. And again, after talking to Joy, she's like, you're spending too much on stuff. So I did cut back and I added all of that to the price of the tuition to make sure I was covering everything.
Awesome. So kind of talking with other people and getting some ideas, talking with Joy
That,
about this, and then so just learning to cut back and find other ways to add it in. Yeah, so that it's not a burden to you. So
exactly.
and parents, they value that, and especially if they've already had it, I'm sure they're like, yeah, no, don't stop sending
Exactly.
Awesome. So what do you think is maybe one of your, like, what's your biggest screw up so far that you're like, oh, I totally messed that?
Let's see, my biggest screw up. There's been a few.
Okay.
Let's see. That's a hard question. I guess is consistency and remembering that it does take a while to build a clientele, and it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
to remember that I'm really not in a big rush. It's not, I am blessed that it's not my main source of income. So
Right.
it's okay, if I don't have all of the 3 to 5 year olds in my neighborhood, it's okay. It'll get there. And, I'm just enjoying the journey, and remembering to focus on the kids that you do have. I think sometimes we forget that. We're so focused on getting clients, we forget to be blessed with the ones that we already have. And they've been, loyal and supportive. So I always make sure I express my gratitude to them.
Awesome. Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, because you don't want to lose the ones you have in
Exactly.
this searching for somebody else, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Right. And it does take time. It absolutely does take time. And yeah, our school it slowly grew, and then I never would have expected that it would have grown as much as it did. So so looking back to before you started doing the online music classes and how things were before, until now, how has it blessed your family and your life?
I've been able to do the extras that I wasn't able to do before. My main income goes towards the bills and everything. So now, if we want to go somewhere nice or have a nice dinner or go away for the weekend, we are able to do that.
Awesome. And I think you have a glimmer of hope of what you might be able to do in the future, right?
Yeah, I'm excited what the future holds. I still want that little schoolhouse someday.
Exactly. So is there anything else that you would like to share that you've learned, or any little tips that you would like to share with our viewers, readers about online preschool, or
just to take your time and really work hard. It does take a lot of hard work, and to make sure that you block the time that you need for whatever work duties that you have. You can't spend, and then, everybody's different, but you can't spend hours, not doing anything, watching TV, whatever. You have to carve out that time and carve out the time for yourself and do what you need to get done.
Awesome. I love it. Work hard and get those benefits. So looking forward, in like the next year or two, what do you see your school in the next year or two? What's your goal?
I'm kind of honestly starting to transition to a blend of online and in person. This summer I'm actually able to offer outdoor classes, which will be fun.
I saw that. Yeah.
Those classes are filling up. I have, it's crazy, 17 families enrolled for the summer.
Awesome.
I guess I'm excited, and for the fall also. And it's strange when you have things that, like, at first you think, how am I going to get through this, like the pandemic. You do find little, positive parts to it also. I would have never thought of having it outside. I love being outside in the fresh air. So why not have music and movement outside? The family.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. I know. Definitely has got us to think outside of the box, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, how about in 5 years? A big dream in
5 years.
years. Where will you be?
My next step, which I'll be honest, that I'm a little scared, so I haven't done it yet, is to hire teachers. Since I do work full time, it would be nice to have a teacher to offer classes in the morning. I'm just, still worried about that next step, but that's my next step, is to hire.
Awesome. That would be great. Then you can bring in more, offer more, like you said, and all of those things. And it's a big thing to move to teachers, but it's totally doable, and it's worth being able to give yourself, offer more, and
losing that control.
It is hard. It is hard to let go of that control, but there is definitely ways to have it be a great experience. So, and Joy has lots of good information on helping find those people, and I'm sure that will continue to grow as more people start hiring teachers and need more help with those kinds of things. So that's awesome. So we're going to do our little breakout session now, and just kind of talk about any kind of struggles. Is there anything you're struggling with right now that you'd like to talk about?
I am thinking of honestly how much parents are going to want it now that the doors are opening and people want to be outside and in person and everything. If people want to be online, or is it like cyclical, just in the winter months, or So I'm curious to see how that folds out.
Right. So, so your concern is you're kind of just wondering how much they're going to want to still do online. Okay. Yeah. How much do you want to still do online when the world changes?
It benefits me a lot because my time is so limited. So it does save so much time traveling and setting up and all of that stuff. So I would really like to still be able to offer that online.
Okay. So if that's something that you are wanting to still do, and so you're wondering if others are going to still want it, for one thing, you can kind of look at it like, a lot of it is also mindset. Okay. So like you're saying, just kind of keeping in your mind that a lot of times people will come to this whole idea of making money and taking care of kids and go to daycare and think that everybody only wants daycare. But somehow hundreds and hundreds of us have had hundreds and hundreds of families who did not want daycare. So there's still going to be some of those people, for many different reasons, that even though they have an option of having something in person, would still prefer online. And so you can kind of, there's probably a couple of ways. One, just being positive that I'll find those people who are still looking for that option, that want that option for whatever reason that might be. They don't like the public schools, don't want to put their kids there. They're homeschooling kids. They, want, and you're doing an enrichment type of program. You're doing an extra thing. And so parents always have their kids in extra stuff. And even when they're going to school, full time in the morning, they're still doing lessons or soccer, or so you're one of those extras, right. So you can kind of market that. But one thing I have that would also be maybe helpful is to be able to like look and see what your parents want. What are their concerns about sending kids back to public school, or what's their concerns of why would you want to still do online, and survey them, Have you ever done surveys or anything?
I have not, which I would like to do even for the summer, to see what current families are wanting to do for the summer.
Right, exactly. So it's really a really valuable thing is to get input from your families, to see what their concerns are, what they're wanting, and then figuring out how you can offer that for them, and provide that service for them. And also getting feedback. I mean, as you're finishing up your year, getting feedback is also really great. What worked, what didn't work, and so you can, and what they wish they had or stuff like that. And it really does help parents feel like they have they're helping to build up the school and having input, and being listened to, and that's, everybody wants to be listened to, right? And to have a part of that. So, but I think the biggest part is just in your mind, telling yourself that there are people who want this, And it might be spreading the word wider, and
Right.
looking for, because it is online. So you don't have a geographical location that limits you to the online aspect of it. So, reaching out to more people, and you have a special niche, and you have the background that you have. And I think the cute little packets that you're putting together is awesome. I don't know. Joy interviewed some people that have different products, and one of them was this. I want to say it was a mother and daughter that put together like curriculum boxes and send them out. I don't know if you saw that interview that you did, and I thought that's like genius, crazy idea.
Yeah.
And with your little monthly things that you send out, one of the things that I thought that was genius that they did was they did a little something in there for the parents. A little, or no, it was for the teachers, a little thank you for the teachers. And so I was thinking, you could throw a little something from mom in there, and who doesn't like getting some little whatever, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to add any value or anything to it, they're like, so even if it's just a little something on being a parent, or something, just something pampering wise for a mom, on their long days, and those little kinds of things really make people. I mean, it seems silly. Why would you keep doing? But that's what makes you go. But she has this cute thing that she does. Like if they're looking at putting them into a different music class or doing something different, what makes you stand out and be different than other music classes? And you're different already by online, but what are why would they want to stay? I know for my kids, our piano teacher is super fun and does games and does all these things that she does extra to get them engaged and excited. And I'm like, I'm staying there, even though she keeps raising her prices. We've been with her for like 6-7 years for all my kids, and the price has probably doubled now from when
That's what I'm considering also, is raising my prices probably for the fall.
Yeah, and I definitely would look at those things, because people spend a lot of money on classes, those kinds of classes, and think nothing really of it as those extras, and they're willing to pay for those things. And if you're going to give them all the little instruments and the little things and a little bit of chocolate, who knows, then they're like, it's a bonus for me, and it's great, and they don't have to drive anywhere. There's lots of good things about it, that even if they're down the street, people are like, hey, but I don't have to drive them away for music lessons. I can still be cooking dinner or whatever, And so just find those things that make it a plus, and find those people that that's what they want, and you'll find them. Just keep that mindset that even though the world has changed, this type of education and learning, we are much more open to online curriculum and online learning than we ever were.
I don't think it's going
a year ago. So that's what I would encourage you to do. Just, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing awesome.
Thank you.
And just keep the mindset. You'll find the right people. Those that are going to do it, and that's okay. That's not their thing, but they'll be the ones that are looking for that. And then just keep doing your awesome social media stuff, and everybody, and you'll find new people, because their friends are friends with somebody else, and you have super cute things that you're doing. So
thank you.
I would just keep doing that.
Thank you.
But thank you, Brenda, for joining us today. And I know everybody's going to really enjoy listening to all the things that you've shared with us today, and appreciate all the insights that you've given us, some really good, positive things to remember.
Thank
you. You are so welcome. And I'll see you in All Stars.
I'll see you in All Stars. Thanks so much. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.